our Jagrata Avastha also is exactly like this. So in our Jagrata Avastha is also some cultural program is going on every day. And naturally in this cultural program, then especially a dance program, certain things are involved, and that is first thing is a dancer. And there is one who owns this dance troupe, entire dance troupe, including dancer. So there is a dancer, there is a musician, and there are singers, and there are some people who play instruments like mridangam, etc. And definitely a program also involves audience. And so here also in life also we have this. So there in a dance program, he gave few things, right? Ahankaraha Prabhu. So this master, the owner of the dance troupe, who has identification with, definitely with the dancer, etc. And the second, of course, is a dancer. Third is the audience. Fourth is that lamp in the hall, which illumines everything, without which dance program cannot happen. So here also in our life, every day, there is a dance program going on. And here also there is a lamp. That's a Sakshi. And then there is a master, Ahankara, Pramata, in a waking state, definitely. Waker is there. And then there is a dancer, that is the mind, which dances. And the fourth is audience, the various sense objects. So this is also saying exactly. So, and we are comparing now to understand the whole life, which is nothing but a dance program. So in that it is said, in the 13th verse you see, Nirantaram bhasamane kutasthe gnapti rupatah tadbhasa bhasamana iyam buddhihi nrityati anekada. Iyam buddhihi nrityati anekada. This buddhi which dances anekada in various ways, because depending upon the choreography, depending upon the singers, what they sing, accordingly she expresses her expressions also, etc. We'll see that. So Nirantaram Gnapti Rupata, etc. So Sakshi Gnapti Rupata. Sakshi is which is which is self-effulgent, shines in the mind. Sakshi is right there. And Kutasthe Bhasamani Nirantaram. Kutasthe. It illumines the mind. That is a Pramata and Pramanam. You know very well, that's the mind. And Prameyam, etc. Well, uniformly, simultaneously, changelessly. Kutasthe indicates all this. Because it has nothing, no will on its part. A person has a certain wealth, then he or she has three sons. She may say, or he may say, well, I want to give all the wealth to this elder, because the other two have not taken my care, and therefore, well, I am going to make a will. The entire property will go to the first son, or a second son, or a third son. That's all will, likes and dislikes, etc. Here it's not the case. There is no will on the part of the Sakshi. If Sakshi has a will, then definitely Sakshi has a mind as a part of it, which is not true. And therefore, basically, there is no will on the part of a Sakshi to illumine all the three. So therefore, it is uniformly illumining. Being self-effulgent, self-illumining, the illumination on the part of a Sakshi is not will. Illumination on the part of Sakshi is natural. Yeah. All the three are illumined simultaneously, uniformly. No change on the part of Sakshi, because it's basically a self-illumining principle. And therefore, there is no change. When sun is illumining the world, sun is not undergoing any change, relatively. No, Swamiji, sun is on constantly, I know. But for the sake of, from the standpoint of that sunlight, we should say that sunlight basically, the sun illumines the entire world changelessly and uniformly. and also simultaneously. Simultaneously means whatever the part is on the front of the sun. That way I'm saying. So that is simultaneously. If the thing is away from the sun, then there gets less light, and which is totally on the other side of the sun, well, definitely it will be in the dark. So, so all this is, you find that the sunlight, is not uniform on the earth. Certain parts are illumined so much, and certain part is less illumined, etc. It's all because that's the position of the objects on the earth. Sun, on the part of sun, there is nothing like that. Not that I should illumine this, more, and something less. No, that kind of a thing is not there. So kutasthe bhasamani and nirantaram, without beginning and end. That itself indicates it is not an action. Yeah. If illumination is an action, has a beginning. Any action has a beginning and end. And definitely action is sequential also. Right? Naturally. Action is sequential. That's how we have thousands of actions within a day. And so you do one thing and then you do something else, then you do something else, you do something else. So you cannot right now study and at the same, listen and study and run all these things or eat all actions of a day, well, simultaneously. No, sequential. So definitely this illumination we are using a verb, and therefore you take it as an action. Then, well, if you take it action, it will has a beginning and end. So definitely then Sakshi will switch off illumination. It can. No, that cannot happen. So nirantaram, without beginning and end. See, this is the difference between Pramata. Pramata also illumines. Pramata illumines the Prameya actually. Pramata illumines the world. We'll be seeing that Sakshi doesn't illumine the world directly. No. Sakshi illumines through Pramata. Sakshi illumines through the mind. Sakshi illumines the world through conscious mind. Lending Chidabhasa, etc. That is how it is. But anyway, so difference between Pramata and Sakshi is very important. We have to understand the Viveka between Ahankara and Sakshi. Because the I thought is there, and well, it has a Chidabhasa, and therefore the Pramata also is a conscious entity. And that is what the problem is actually. That we take ourselves to be Pramata, Ahankara. And so what is the difference between Ahankara and Sakshi is this. Ahankara illumines, well, which is not continuous, definitely. So it is, and Pramata also is illumining a part of the world, and that is also, well, not continuously. In a waking state, of course, and in a dream state it illumines something else, but then in deep sleep state it doesn't illuminate itself, because it's a mind actually, and therefore mind undergoes a change. All our three states of experiences are the three states of mind. There is no state of a Sakshi. Sakshi is uniformly there in all the three states, without which a waker, dreamer, etc. and the deep sleeper cannot be. Anyway, so Pramata, that is a waker, let us say, well, definitely illumines a waking state. It cannot illumine the dream state. It cannot illumine the deep sleep state, right? And therefore, Pramata's illumination is not a continuous, etc. And well, and Pramata's knowing process is always also not uniform also, and not simultaneous also. So it always changes. What I want to convey is that it is Pramata itself undergoes a change naturally. Pramata means a knower. Knower means what? If you ask a question, you will come to know. That knower means, Swamiji, that's a generic term. But actually it is a seer or a hearer or a toucher, etc. So it undergoes change. And we'll be seeing also that Pramata is all the time affected with whatever is present in the mind. So we'll be seeing that. So that is how it constantly undergoes a change. And so it stops illumination also. And Sakshi is one which illumines uniformly, simultaneously, and without undergoing any change. Pramata illumines, well, not simultaneously, not uniformly, or not continuously, etc. Whereas Sakshi illumines Because Pramata is basically is not a self-illumining principle. It definitely illumines on account of a Sakshi. Sakshi lends Chidabhasa. That's a Sakshi's avatara actually. Chidabhasa is nothing but a Sakshi's avatara. Yeah, descending. Sakshi descends. Like, the reflection of the sun is the avatara of the sun. So it descends. Yeah, because why descend, Swamiji? Why not ascend? In terms of reality, what is more real, very well. So reflection cannot exist independent of the sun. Therefore, reflection is just a descending of the sun, we should say, avatara. Anyway, so and so on the part of Pramada, there is a will also. Please understand this. Yeah, I should have said that before. But anyway, Pramada has a will. So Pramata, because he has a free will, and so he decides to see, to hear, and to see also what to see, etc. It all decides. He decides. So on the part of Pramata, whatever it illumines of the world, Prameya, is with the will. Sakshi illumines without will, because Sakshi is really a self-illuminating principle. So Pramata's the illumination is called action. Yeah. Sakshi's illumination is not an action. Kindly understand this. This is a viveka which is to be done. Ahankara Sakshi viveka is the viveka. That is the viveka. That is the Vedanta. Ultimately, saying this you are different from this and pen, and you are different from computer. That is not a viveka at all. What you consider as a I is really not I. And so your ahankara is sitting even in the gross body also. So there we start. That is the Vedanta where you begin the viveka between Sthula Sharira and Atma, the Sakshi. Or you begin the Sukshma Sharira, viveka you begin between the Sukshma Sharira and Atma. And in Sukshma Sharira you should include ahankara also, because ahankara is a part of the mind only, ahamvritti we know. As such also we divide ahankara in the mind into the 4 parts, ahankara, chittam, manaha, buddhi, etc. So anyway, so tadbhasa bhasamana iyam buddhihi. So in the presence of Sakshi, this inert mind, the pramana bhaga becomes sentient, capable of generating ahamvritti, idamvritti. And like I gave you example that water in the pot is, basically is motionless, but is pervaded, the fire pervades, because the fire is underneath, and so fire pervades in the water, and so it starts boiling kind of a thing. Anyway, so mind also becomes this becomes active in presence of this consciousness because of Chidabhasa, and pervaded by Chidabhasa. Well, so Tadbhasa. Tadbhasa means Sakshi Bhasa, so, or Sakshi Chaitanya Yad Bhasa. Yam Buddhihi. So, it is pervaded by the consciousness. And then definitely mind becomes active. So, and their mind is, in the example, it is a dancer. So, dancer also does the same thing. She comes on the stage and sits, and then she gets up slowly and starts doing Tatathaya, etc. Right? And then fast, especially Bharatnatyam. And other dances is slow going on. So slow-paced thinkers are there, and fast-paced thinkers are also there. So basically all types of thinkers are there, right? So some people think very, very quietly, everything does. And some people think so fast, they come to the conclusion within a minute. Good or bad, Swami? Bad. Generally bad. Generally bad. Why bad? Because generally, without taking into consideration many factors, people just come to the conclusion. Fat. And then they react also. And then the other person says, well, I didn't mean it. What are you thinking? My God. Something like that. Like that. So, anyway, so tadbhasa bhasamana buddhihi, the buddhi which is illumined by the Sakshi, Chidabhasa is pervading the entire mind. The whole mind is soaked in consciousness. That is what it is. So don't think a reflection kind of a thing, some kind of there is a mind, in between there is a small reflection. Like a water bucket is there, you find somewhere in between, or the reflection of the sun. Don't think that way. The whole mind is conscious. will have a first thought, that is aham vritti, that's called ahankara. Therefore, the conscious mind, the mind which is totally conscious, is called ahankara. That's it, nothing else. And in that, well, the idam vritti also will arise, idam vritti, etc. Different types of vrittis will arise depending upon varieties of the objects, etc. Anyway, so that part we have already seen in Drigdusha Viveka, this what is ahankara, etc. also. Just for your I am reminding you, we have referred there also in a Drigdusha Viveka very well, all this. So anyway, so slowly it starts dancing, right? The mind, and nrityati anekada. So, well, it dances, mind dances manifold depending upon the choreography. So it's how everything is moving. In a dancers, all limbs are moving, head and hand and fingers and the legs and everything. Okay, verse number 14, in that it says now, ahankaraha prabhuhu. Well, so he extends now the example to further explain. When I make a statement, the waking state is nothing but a dance program, then we have to understand a little further. So, ahankara is a master basically, and the king or the owner of that entire dance troupe, that thing, which is called prabhu, right? And then sabhyaha vishayaha and nartaki matihi. And so basically, because this person, this prabhu, the ahankara must be paying, right, to the dancers and to the musician and to the people who play the instruments, etc. So he must be paying all of them. So he has identified with that troupe naturally. He all the time worries whether the program will go successful or not, whether dancer will dance proper or not, etc., etc. If dancer doesn't dance properly, etc., then definitely his mood will go away, or her mood will go away, whatever. So ahankara basically has here prabhu there, right, master or a owner. Here, who is a owner? Ahankara. And ahankara got identification with what? The mind. So there the prabhu has an identification with the dancer. And here ahankara's identification with the mind, naturally. And so king has got the vimanam with the dancer and the entire dancing troupe also. And here ahankara has a vimanam with the mind and the sense organs. I am adding it, it is coming. Anyway. And naturally this ahankara, the prabhu, there the owner, generally doesn't sit with the audience. So he has a special seat on the other side of the audience, naturally. I think he sits even on the dais, on the stage, on the one corner. He doesn't sit with the audience. And so you can imagine now that there is a owner there sitting in one corner of the stage, then there is a dancer, and then the audience on the other side. So this is the arrangement. So here also ahankara, the pramata, and then there is a dancer, the mind, and the audience which is there outside. All the vishayaha, all the sense objects. And ahankara, this owner is one, naturally. And the audience is many. And this is how it is. For one life program, So each one has got its own nrityashala. So, and in that, ahankara is always one. And the pramata is one, right? Pramata is one. Pramata doesn't change. Yeah, I am a pramata here, and so this is a nrityashala. Here, this program is going on. You are another pramata. And your mind becomes a dancer for you. So, pramana. And then you also contact through various sense objects, that is audience. So that is how it is. So for one life experience, definitely, well, there is a one master, ahankara. And this vishayaha, sabhyaha. Vishaya, sense objects, are the audience. Sabhayam bhavaha sabhyaha. Yeah. Sabhayam Bhava. Sabha means a audience. That's a Sabha actually means a assembly. So whoever are there in assembly are called Sabhya. Whoever are there in Sabha are called Sabhya. Sabhayam Bhava. Members of audience, you can say. So Prameyam is audience is on one side, the sense objects. Pramata is on the other side, and in between, well, this Pramana, the dancer is there. And now, between, sense objects do not have a abhimana with the audience. The sense object does not have abhimana with the dancer. Audience doesn't have abhimana with the dancer. To an extent, dancer is affected by the audience. To an extent. There is not a total identification, but dancers, while dancing, she's in the eyes of the audience. And she can immediately picks up that whether the people are really informed about this dance or not. People are, everyone sees a Bharatanatyam dance, but hardly few people really understand the dance, because it's a classical dance, naturally. And therefore, the dancer sees in the audience, in the eyes of the audience, and she can see whether this audience is an informed audience or audience is just not informed. If audience is not informed, and therefore maybe yawning also while the dance program, because Arangetram means it goes on and on. There are items after items, and definitely I myself have sat, I think, 4 hours in one program in New Jersey. I do remember yet 4 hours. Yeah, honestly. So, and if you can understand, if you really don't appreciate all the nuances of this dance, what will happen? What will happen to you? And if you don't have any expression on your face, and if dancer happens, you are sitting in the first row, and dancer sees in your eyes and can understand, oh, this Swami is Buddhu. He doesn't understand anything. She literally is affected. So if the audience gives a very big hand, and not just for the sake of giving big hand, but they understand and give a big hand, then she's inspired. So to an extent, the dancer is affected by the audience, but there is no total identification. They are not so affected. Now, people are also not so affected. Dancer is also not totally affected. But this Prabhu, the Ahankara, the Pramata, is totally identified with, because he gives money. It is his own troupe. He is owner of the entire troupe. And therefore, if dancer doesn't dance, he is maybe knowing a classical dance also. And so he is sitting there on the stage. And if he understands, oh, she is not doing properly, etc., he is very much affected. Very much. So definitely, the Pramata has basically a total identification with the mind. And we'll see, then mind, basically presents varieties of the moods, Navarasa. And therefore, depending upon the mood, this dance and the mind presents, the Ahankara, the Pramata is affected. Yeah. So this is how it is. So, if this is practically what I am describing right now in these classes is the Nididhyasana. Honestly, if you understand it, it is purely Nididhyasana. Swamiji, what is Nididhyasana? This is Nididhyasana. Your waking state is the dance program. If you look upon that way, you are doing Nididhyasana. So you will come to know. Even if you are not able to appreciate what I am saying right now, within no time you will appreciate that yes, this is this dance program. Understanding the waking state every day is nothing but a new dance program going on, in which the dancer and then Ahankara, etc., and the audience is involved, and then there is a lamp which illumines all the three. That lamp will all the time uniformly, changelessly, simultaneously, constantly illumines, and there is no action going on. It is simply this illumination on the part of Sakshi is very, 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 very natural. not an iota of a will to illumine, because it doesn't have a mind. So, Nartaki Matihi, if dancer has to dance, well, definitely she requires a number of people, naturally. And so, who does this talam, naturally, who helps, who assists in a dance program, requires a troupe. And what are they? What are the other members of the troops? Musicians and the people who play the instruments, right? Mridangam, etc. Who are they? Sense organs. So that's how they say taladi dharini akshani. Akshani means indriyani. So taladi dharini. So these indriyas are nothing but singers, musician, etc. And so dancer dances depending upon the song. The singer sings something. Depending upon the type of the song, means the meaning of the song, suppose presents say some karuna rasa, then she has to express her, she has to, through her, head, well, definitely she has to express it, that bhava. And the instruments which are mridangam, etc., they are also will be played together. So she has to show the movements of the legs depending upon those instruments, mridangam, etc., which we call talam. So depending upon the song sung by the singer, she has to express the mood on the face, and depending upon the type of the talam played by the mridangam, etc., she has to show the movement of the legs. The dancer's legs movement are totally dependent upon the mridangam, etc., the instruments. And dancer's face expressions are based on the song sung by that singer. Yeah. And the song could be of any rasa, out of the navarasa. We'll see that. So, well, if the bhava, suppose a song is, which is expressing a certain joy kind of a thing, then she has to show on the face. If a song of a sorrow, etc., separation or some tragedy, then definitely she has to express that sorrow also through the face. So sentiments have to be shown, well, as per the troupe, as per the troupe, you can say. So all sense organs, you have to consider all, singer and other musicians, etc. Anyway, so this is how every Jagrat Avastha is a dance program with Navarasa, all the 9 rasas. Which are the rasas? Well, Shungaram, Veeram, Karunam, Raudram, Hasyam, Bhayanakam, Bibhatsam, Adbhutam, Shantam. Navarasas are there. All the Navarasas, this dancer, definitely shows where in a waking state. Sometimes we are quiet, sometimes we are fearful, sometimes we laugh so much, etc., etc. So this is all with varieties of the rasas are also presented there in the dance program. Here varieties of the rasas are presented by this dancer, also depending upon these musicians, what they play. Sense organs are the musicians and definitely singers, etc. All you have to consider together. Depending upon them, when the dancer presents facial expressions as well as the leg movements, so this dancer also presents that way. And now, in this, everything is changing. Audience is changing. Dancer violently changes. Dancer is not for a moment, she is steady. Either leg movement, either hand movement, either even simple fingers. Hand is there in one place, but even the fingers are moving. Or the head is moving here and there or something. I cannot express, but well, basically, constantly. And dancer's mind also, of course, naturally is constantly undergoing change. But anyway, dancer is changing. Then audience is changing. And definitely Prabhu also is changing. Prabhu is happy. Oh, she has danced very wonderful. Oh, the troop, other troop members, musician has played very beautifully. She sang very beautifully. This Mridangam he played very beautifully, etc. Oh, nice, nice. Because of you, the program was so successful. So Pramada is also now happy. Or he could definitely feel dejected also. Also, since he is identified with the all troop members, including the dancer, so when they are changing, well, this also is undergoing changing. So here her Pramata Ahankara, the Prabhu, well, undergoes a change depending upon the dancer's mood, and also depending upon sense organs. He has identified with the dancer and with the sense organs. Who? The Ahankara. So vikaras are there, changes are there in all the three, pramata, pramanam, and of course for my audience will be naturally different. In today you are in a waking state, you are here. Tomorrow you may be somewhere else. Or even if you are in a one place, but then definitely you contact sense objects, varieties of the sense objects you contact every day. So audience also is changing. So there is only one thing which is a nirvikara vastu, and that is that lamp. Right? So there is that lamp in the dance theatre which illumines all the three, the Pramata, the Prabhu, and the Pramana, the dancer, and the audience, which are undergoing change. Well, at least in terms of moods, etc. Well, that light doesn't undergo change. Light never expresses a sorrow. Well, when the dancer expresses a sorrow, well, light doesn't express any sorrow. Or when dancer expresses certain joy, no, light doesn't express joy because light has no identification with the dancer. That is the Pramata, the Prabhu has the identification with the dancer, not the light, which is Nirvikara Vastu, which does not participate in the program, and at the same time without which the program itself cannot happen. That's it. Even though it doesn't participate, well, generally when anything doesn't participate, we consider it as a useless. But here, without participation, well, without really, getting involved into the whole thing, well, without which this dance program itself cannot happen. As the light goes, gone. And that lamp is what? Deepaha, lamp is Sakshi, Avabhasakaha. That lamp is comparable to the Sakshi, which never says, which never has any judgment, good or bad. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra kruta, anyatra smat, kruta krutat, etc. That is a question asked there, which is free from dharma and adharma. Sakshi is free from dharma and adharma. Where the free will is, there dharma adharma is. Who exercises free will? Sakshi or Pramata? No, Pramata. Then he has to exercise the free will depending upon dharma adharma, not likes and dislikes, etc. So Pramata has dharma adharma, etc. Not the Sakshi. So anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yat tat pashyasi tad vada, I remember now. So basically, which is free from krutam and akrutam, which is free from karya karana, which is free from dharma adharma, which is free from bhutam, bhavyam. Bhavyam means future, bhutam means past, which is free from even past, future, present, etc., which is timeless. If you know, Ho Yamaraja, please let me know, Nachiketa asked. And Yamadharmaja expressed, yes, you are right, this Atma is free from dharma, dharma, free from cause effect, free from any time, past, future, etc. Means past, present, future, etc. So basically, which is timeless, which doesn't play any role, which doesn't have any will, but without which neither Pramata has existence, neither Pramata can function, neither Pramata's existence itself will not be there, Pramana's existence will not be there, Prameya's existence will not be there, they will not be able to function. And therefore, please remember this Kenopanishad. Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, Vacho Vacham, Pranasya Pranaha. Chakshushakshu ratimuccha dhiraha pretyasman lokad amrutaha bhavanti. So this is how it is. This is Sakshi. So Avbhasakaha Deepaha Sakshi, illumining lamp. There in example it is illumining lamp, a big lamp which illumines the whole program including audience. And but here in our case it is a Sakshi. 15th verse. Swasthana samsthito deepah sarvato bhasayed yatha sthirasthai tatha sakshi bahirantah prakashayed. Now Vidyaranya focuses, four factors are there. Ahankara, that in an example it is a Prabhu, and then a dancer, and definitely the audience, me. And the fourth is that lamp. Now he focuses on lamp, means he focuses on Sakshi here in our case. So, he has already talked about this king and dancer and troupe and audience and everything. Now, because all are basically inert, they don't have any sentience. They are not consciousness by nature. They become conscious on account of ultimately consciousness. Well, by consciousness basically blesses all of them, pramata, pramanam, etc., with the Chidabhasa. And then Chidabhasa flows out to the Prameya, and that's how the Prameya also is illumined. So all are changing, all are inert. So he wants to focuses on now a thing which is free from change, which is conscious, which is consciousness by nature. Deepaha swasthana samsthitaha. So Deepaha means swasthana samsthitaha, remaining lamp. Deepaha means that lamp in example. Lamp remaining where it is without moving. So yatha sarvataha bhasaye, illumines all the three, master, audience and dancer. Same way, tatha sthira sthai sakshi. Sakshi which does not undergo any movement. Sakshi does not undergo any change. A change can be the change means a movement. Any change means a movement. So which is a kutastha, we already told. So while Sakshi does not undergo any movement, while illumines two factors. Now we have to be very careful. There all the three are illumined. There is nothing called inside outside. But here it is a different case. So Sakshi basically illumines two things inside. That is Pramata and Pramana. Both are mind, you know very well. The Pramana bhaga of the mind itself, Ahamvritti, Idamvritti, both have a Chidavasa, and therefore Ahamvritti with the Chidavasa is a Pramata, Idamvritti with the Chidavasa. Well, that is we call knowing process. Well, that vritti alone contexts the object outside. So Sakshi illumines these two factors, that is Pramata and Pramanam, inside, and illumines one factor, Prameyam, outside. That statement is not totally true, but you take it for a time being. Sakshi illumines because I have already told you Sakshi does not illumine the external world. Now I am saying Sakshi illumines the Prameyam, the external world. You keep it as it is, we will be seeing the difference. So basically all these three are Jadam. Mind is also Jadam, external objects are Jadam, and therefore, but they are illumined ultimately by the Sakshi. The main source is Sakshi. Either Chidabhasa or a Sakshi, that difference we'll see. So Sakshi illumines basically the Pramana bhaga. The mind, that means the Pramata and Pramana, both illumines both Ahamvritti and Idamvritti, and then travels with the Idamvritti. Ahamvritti doesn't go out. Ahankara never goes out. Ahankara remains here. Ahamvritti will remain with the Chidabhasa, that is Ahankara, will remain, Pramata, that remains inside. But that Idamvritti with that Chidabhasa, well, there is nothing but a Sakshi's own blessing in form of lending Chidabhasa, that travels outside and then it illumines Prameyam. So Sakshi directly illumines Ahamvritti, Pramata, and Idamvritti, the Pramana also, and Prameya indirectly. So basically credit of Chidabhasa is ultimately goes to the Sakshi. We say Chidabhasa illumines Swamiji outside world. That's fine. But Chidabhasa is due to Sakshi only. That I already told you, Chidabhasa is the avatara of the Sakshi. Right? So, like when you worship the image of a Shankaracharya ji, image, worship. So, whatever the glory is there in the image you see, suppose, that does not belong to the image, but belongs to the original Shankaracharya. That's how it is. So, Chidabhasa, you say, well, Swamiji, it's a glory of a Chidabhasa, without which the world cannot be illuminated. That's true. If Chidabhasa is not there, Sakshi cannot illumine the world directly. I told you. Therefore, Swamiji, it's a glory of a Chidabhasa because of which I am able to hear, I am able to see you, and I am able to taste everything. It's not because of Sakshi, Swamiji, Chidabhasa. That's fine, but Chidabhasa is an image. It's like image of a Shankaracharya ji, okay? And then, where is Chidabhasa without Sakshi? Therefore, ultimately, Sakshi itself, travels in the form of a Chidabhasa and reaches outside and illumines the words, illumines the taste, illumines the forms, illumines the touch, different forms of touch, etc. etc. That we have already seen this, Vritti Vyapti and Phala Vyapti, etc. So it comes again and again. So difference we have to see is, Sakshi directly reveals Pramata and Pramanam, directly, naturally, because it manifests in the buddhi, and therefore it's the mind. Therefore it illumines and the vritti arises, both are having a Chidabhasa. So Sakshi reveals Pramata and Pramanam directly, and Prameyam, through Pramata and Pramanam. Yeah. So that's how we have to see. We also saw that example of the tank, etc. So even if I play an important role of opening the tap, and then water comes, and so I take a Shreya. Definitely, I opened the tap water. I opened the tap, and therefore you got the water and you have quenched your thirst. But really speaking, that's not correct. If the tank is a source of water. If that tank doesn't have a water, and then still you open, only I told you the other Mahabhuta comes out. So the air only comes out, not water, because there is no water in that. So definitely, Swamiji, I am also responsible, because if I don't open the tap, even if there is a water in the tap and the pipe, how will you quench your thirst? Correct? Very true. But I am telling you, the source of water is not you. Okay? Source of water is tank. Yeah. If tank has water, then only your opening of tap is useful. Otherwise, there is no useful. Therefore, you should not consider yourself, take a total, Shreya for quenching the thirst of a Swami. Definitely, you are instrumental. Same way, Sakshi illumines Pramata Pramanam directly inside and illumines this Prameya through Pramata Pramanam. So what is the role of a Pramata? We can understand that in the example as a tap opener. Pramata is a tap opener. So when Pramata opens the tap, exercises the free will, then definitely through the pipeline that Chidabhasa flows, water flows. What is that pipeline? Idam Vritti. Idam Vritti is a pipeline. Along with that water goes outside and that Prameya is illumined. Okay? So this is, you have to, because Nididhyasanam will be very interesting for you if you think little in a dramatic manner. This is a drama. That's how I say. So definitely, ultimately the water, the source of water is the tank. Same way here, source of consciousness. It's a consciousness itself. Because of which the very Pramata becomes, knower. Pramata gains a status of a knower. It can know, it can see. Pramata can see, Pramata can be a seer, hearer, etc. Is because it has a blessing of a Chidabhasa. That has Chidabhasa has through the Sakshi Chaitanya, and therefore ultimately Sakshi should be given a credit. Yeah. So that is how it is said, Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam, Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidamidam Vibhati, etc. etc. Just to remind you, Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam. Everything shines on account of you, including Pramada shines. Pramada is able to experience, knows, etc., illumines the world is on account of Sakshi. Anyway. And it says here, Bahi Antah Prakashayet. So Sthirasai, Sthai, Sakshi, Bahi Antah Prakashayet. So Sakshi is, illumines Pramata Pramanam inside and Prameya outside. Prakashayet, illumines. Verse 16. बहिरंतर्विभागोऽयं देहापेक्षो न साक्षिणी विषयाः बाह्यदेशस्थाः देहस्यारन्तरहंकृतिः. So in previous shloka, Vidyaranya well said Sakshi illumines inside and outside also. Now Vidyaranya well explains word inside outside with respect to what? So it is with respect to the body, frankly speaking. So, from the standpoint of a Sakshi, there is inside, outside falls within Sakshi. So, because Sakshi is a consciousness, understand this. And consciousness is the one which illumines, of course, everything, including the body, and lends existence. Sakshi is a source of existence and illumination. And therefore, whatever is inside, outside is, that is inside consciousness is, okay? And therefore, the very body exists in consciousness. The space, time, all objects exist in consciousness, the audience, the world. And the very mind and etc. also exist in consciousness. And therefore, Sadeva Sumedamagra Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. So therefore, there is nothing other than Sat. Therefore, whole thing which has come, which you see in form of a varieties, in form of a multiplicity, the entire creation, time and space and all the objects, that was nothing but the Sat before its creation. Therefore, what you see right now also is a Sat, or has come out of the Sat. And therefore, it all exists within this cause. And therefore everything is. That very is this Sakshi. We call Brahman there. Nothing to worry. But it's only Sakshi means the illumination. Yeah. Don't worry, but that's called Brahman. With respect to the external world, the cause of it is called Brahman. But that is Atma. That is consciousness, and therefore Atma or Brahman, whatever you say, that is one and the same thing. Anyway, so that is how there is nothing called inside outside kind of a thing from the standpoint of Sakshi. Therefore it says here, Ayam Vibhagaha Bahihi Antah Dehapekshaha. So this classification of inside outside is from the standpoint of the body. So like people, suppose if I am taking a class in a certain hall, if I ask you that all of you exist inside or outside, you will immediately ask, Swamiji, from what standpoint? From the standpoint of a space, you are all inside. From the standpoint of a hall, you are inside. And other people are outside. Okay? So inside, outside, you people are inside the hall, other people are outside the hall. That is definitely from the standpoint of the hall. From the standpoint of a space, all are inside. That's how it is. So from the standpoint of a Sakshi, nothing is beyond Sakshi. Nothing is beyond Sakshi. If you can prove some existence of anything without being conscious of, try. So everything exists in consciousness. That is how the thing is. Knowability or unknowability is with respect to the mind. That's not a criteria at all. Swamiji, but I don't know, I'm not conscious of thousands of things in the world. How can you say they exist in consciousness? That exists. Your sentence proves it exists in consciousness. You said thousands or billions of things, Swamiji, I am not conscious of. Well, that exists. The unknowability of the all exists in your consciousness. And therefore, with respect to your mind, certain things are inside. Please understand. Which we call, that's how the status of the world changes once it enters into the mind. The status of the world is unknown. When a given object exists through the vritti, of course, through the idam vritti, the audience enters inside, well, prameya, inside it enters, becomes known. And known is known. That status will not change in this life. So known will become again unknown. No. You may forget, that's a different thing. But you will always know the change. A thing which you know today and a thing which you have forgotten and remembered today, you know the difference very well. That I remembered, you will use the word also. I remembered, yeah, now I remembered. Or thanks for reminding me, etc. Or otherwise you will have to say, if somebody says something which you come to know first time, you will say, thanks for making me know about that, etc. So you know that difference. So the status of the world changes once it enters into the mind. Known, unknown. With respect to Sakshi, well, all unknown exists in Sakshi as unknown. So you know what you don't know, you know what you don't know also. So it means you are conscious of what you know, you are also conscious of what you don't know. So, well, definitely vritti, vyapti, etc. is required, and phala vyapti, by which it becomes known. But that's how the change between certain things are inside the mind, certain things are outside the mind. It's like exactly as few people were existing in the hall and other people were outside the hall. Like the hall, the mind. But with respect to the Sakshi, which is nothing but the Brahman, in which even the space, time and all objects exist, well, that is, nothing is outside. So that's what he says. Ayam vibhagaha bahihi antaha deha peksha. The very deha, when you say the body is, that is this Brahman, or is the consciousness. How can you say body is without being body, without body consciousness? You cannot. So when you say body is, body consciousness is. You have to say, it is equation. Body is equal to body consciousness is. Mind is, mind consciousness is. Space is, space consciousness is. Consciousness is an invariable factor, unchanging factor, right? A uniform factor, well, which basically lends existence and illumines that name and form. That's the world. So, definitely, so deha peksha, dehasya peksha vartate. So, na sakshini. And therefore, well, definitely doesn't have, with regard to Sakshi, inside outside is not there. So, but Swamiji, if you say I is that consciousness, I say I am here. That's Chidabhasa. Okay? When you say I am here, you are taking it I as a Chidabhasa. From the Sakshi standpoint, definitely this I am all pervading, inside outside is not there. We'll be seeing little more differences. So Vishayaha Bahya Deshasthaha. All Prameyas are located in that external space. Dehasya Antar Ahankritihi. Well, this Ahankriti, Ahankara, is Dehasya Antara. Ahankara is always inside. Pramata is always inside. And Ahamvritti is always inside. The Idam Vritti along with the Chidabhasa goes out and contacts the world. And the Chidabhasa, of course, the Vritti pervades that object, and the Chidabhasa which is there along with that Vritti illumines the object. That's how it becomes Prameya. Etc. Okay. We'll see further Monday. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.